live from Trinidad and Tobago.
Welcome to Connections 50 Plus Wednesdays live show.
I am Terry Ann Joseph Brathwaite.
And I am Jennifer Gibbons Joseph.
Good afternoon, Connections 50 Plus followers all across the Caribbean. It is Wednesday afternoon. That means it is Wednesday Alive. It is 6 o'clock. Welcome. I am Terry Ann Joseph Brathwaite, one of the co-creators of Connections 50 Plus. With me always,
I am Jennifer Gibbons Joseph, the other co-creator of Connections 50 Plus, and welcome to this evening's show.
Good. Now, last week, we told you that we were changing our focus a little bit, helping you to understand a bit more of how we can help you get ready for the third act stage in life through our programs. And we start that today. We also told you that our programs are now going to be half hour long. They're going to be a bit more compact and more focused. So we are getting started with our life transition and self-care programs. And you know who leads that one, our dear Jennifer.
Yes.
So Jennifer, what are we going to be talking about today?
Well, let me say first, Terry Ann, I thought we should, we start a series. And when I say series, today, this Wednesday, we're going to chat about the life transition. And I looked at a team about 50 plus dilemmas because we are really about providing solutions to our 50 plus cohort to help them in the different areas. So today we're going to talk about life transition. And as we move on, we're going to chat about the other areas, which will be financial, entrepreneurial, wellness. Okay. So as your life transition coach, talking about life transition, and I love to chat about life transition because this is where we are, right? Terry Ann is like that, and I am like that at the third act stage. And this time, we just started a new year. And it's normal for many of us when we start a new year to start with all our great plans. And we set up and we say, this year we're going to achieve X, Y, and Z. But for 2021, a bit different because we're still in a pandemic. Yeah. This is very uncertain times for many of us. Our head is in a different space. So what I want to say is we have to, I would say, we should start in this transition period for this year with our mindset. Because during this period, there's so much negative news, the worldwide, we're not getting any positive at all. Very few positives, a lot of negatives. What's happening now, if it's not the COVID death, is turmoil in the countries, the US, what is happening there after the elections, locally, what's happening with us, how are we managing the pandemic and all the other issues. So we have so many issues going on, and some we're not in charge of many. So we need to understand that this is a time for us to take charge of us. Yeah. And we talk about self-care. How are we going to manage ourselves in the midst of all this turmoil? And when I say dilemma solution, I consider the decision making, the uncertainty as dilemmas. And we need to find some solution. So we're starting with self. Yeah. What are we going to do? How are we going to, I would say, manage? I'm looking at journey through this time. Our journey, we are on a journey. How are we going to really maneuver, all the different things that are happening? and deal with the unexpected.
Mhm.
So as the coach and for our program, because we do have the life transition program, and let me just remind you all that we have now separated our programs. When I say separated, we decided to offer you individual, programs. So we have the individual life coaching separate, the financial separate, etc. So you can decide which area that you need help in the most. So with the life transition, my role is really to help you get your mindset together. So to do that, and let me just share with you the different process. And I would start with the client, and let me use, Terrian is there with me all the time. And we would ask the client to share with us their situation as it is now, their feelings. So we deal a lot with how you're feeling at this stage. Are you excited? I
Mhm.
started the year with a post saying that I am so excited and enthusiastic, and someone sent me a note saying, how could you be with all that is happening around you? So how you decide to look at your situation. What is your view of what is happening? And if you go down the negative road, and I will say in terms of a low energy,
Mhm.
looking at all the negativity, the sadness, the deaths that happening, the after effects of COVID and all the negatives, then Terry-Ann, we will just be stuck. So I chose to focus on the positive because I want my 2021 and beyond to be a happy and positive one.
Mhm.
So let's start by, I would like to ask your listening and our listening audience, how do you really want to spend 2021? Well, Terry, and I should ask you that question. How would you want to spend 2021?
Well, I made up my mind how I am going to spend 2021. So I am on my way. I have some very
Great.
definite plans about, well, everyone knew that I am in my 60th year. So these 12 months
Mhm.
are counting down to my 60th birthday. And I have made 4 clear projects that I have already started, I'm embarked upon. And I am off to a wonderful start. So while the for me, while the world, I can't stop COVID. I can't stop
Yeah.
political upheaval. I can't stop the economy tanking. I can't do those things. But I have done an analysis to see what my life requires for me, my family, people I care about, and my community to be happy. And I am taking action on things that I can control. And that has caused me to be very uplifted and to have the pandemic and its consequences as a sort of background noise that I'm aware of, but it's not dominating me. And it's one of the things you always say, Jennifer, in your coaching, you have to have a goal and you have to have a plan. So my goal
Great.
and my plan are keeping me focused and not sinking, as it were.
Congrats. And that is exactly what I would like our followers to do.
Yeah.
You start with, do you want to be unhappy? No, you want to be happy. Do you want to be successful? And I'm answering for you. I would think, yes, you
Yeah.
want to be successful. Do you want to achieve all the goals that you have? You may not achieve all, but you put them, you prioritize. And you said, you know what? And Terry Ann just outlined, these are the four, or these are the three main things I want to do for the year. Because it's not making sense to make a long, long list and you can't achieve any.
Yes.
So at least start with what are the three main goals. What do you want to achieve? And look at you, huh? Look at what you want to achieve, not what you want your parent to achieve or your spouse to achieve and everybody else but you. So
Yes.
I'm dealing with you. What do you want for you? You know? And from the time you have that done, then you start working on it. I
Mhm.
started the year saying that for me, this will be a great year. because last year my January was one where I wasn't well and had to be a challenge with, getting over my health issues.
Yes.
And I did. And I made sure I did everything in place so that wouldn't be repeated in January. So of course, when I started and say, Ray, I'm in great health and I can do so much, that made me say, yes, I can continue to achieve. So my mindset is a very positive one. So we look at your mindset and you understand you just write down 3 main goals,
Mhm.
and this is what you're going to do. The other challenge or dilemma, Terry, and I have found, is that self-doubt. So yes, we set it up and yes, you're going to achieve it. But somewhere along the line, you start to doubt yourself.
Yeah.
Or you may share what you plan to do. For instance, Terry, and you shared with me that you plan to do this garden so you could provide your family with your food and grow your own food, etc. And I was there with you. Actually, I'm just excited to start my own. But if I had told you, or if you had friends who keep saying, why are you going to do that? It's not going to work, etc. If you are not very strong or very sure about your goal, then you could easily give up.
Yeah.
So that is what we have to be very careful with. And I would suggest to people, you have to ensure this is what you want to do. You look at all the reasons and the joy that it will give you, whatever it is that you set for yourself,
Yeah.
because I would think that you would be setting those goals that you would enjoy, that will make you happy,
Jennifer,
that will take you forward.
you know what I think people do? Um, and it is something about goal setting. And if you set a goal, it's your goal. I don't think they own it. I think sometimes
Yes.
people will establish they'll establish something, an idea they want to do, and it's like they're throwing it out for opinions before it becomes a goal. So that
Yes.
anybody says anything, it changes the goal rather than, okay, I
Yes.
want to, all right, I had a goal of part of my wellness strategy is getting securing my supply of vegetables. All right. Now, depending on
Yeah.
where you are or what you would do, the first thing an individual will do is whether it is get 3 pots and put some dirt in it and put something in it to grow, you know. And after you start, all right,
Yeah.
people could come on board and they could talk about what you're doing, but you started, it's your goal. It's not to have a discussion with somebody, or should I put brown pots or blue pots, should I put ceramic pots or plastic pots? Once you do that,
Mhm.
you haven't really made a you haven't decided,
Yes.
no. And you
It
really have to watch
means
who you're inviting and talk about your goal.
you're not strong about your goal. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's
Yeah,
one of the things that
that's very true, Terry-Ann. It
defeats
means
joy.
that you're not convinced that that is what you want to do.
Yeah, yeah. And I think a lot of people, you hear them talking about what they want to do and they're passionate about what they want to do, but no step is taken at all to get there.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the, and I know I listen to you coaching, and I know that first step, it doesn't matter how small, it doesn't matter how simple, it just start.
You start.
Yeah.
Yeah. So as Sarah, you get started on whatever you want to do, but ensure this is what gives you joy. Because if it's something you write down and it wouldn't give you joy, then I will say forget that,
Yeah.
because you won't be motivated to move forward.
But Jen, if not give joy, reduce a problem.
Oh, yes.
Your unhappiness is reduced.
Well, I would think anytime that you resolve a situation, you should be happy.
Yes.
That's how I look at it.
Yeah.
You know, um, the other step, and I would say step. So when you clear your mind and you look around you also, Tarian, it is important to operate, and I'm dealing here with mindset. So it is important to operate in a space that is very conducive to you relaxing, to you not getting anxious. So create that space within your home, that atmosphere that is one of peace. I totally believe that, and this may be simple for some people, but I have found it is a fact. You see clutter, and clutter, we're talking about clutter in your head, but clutter around you.
Rubbish.
Yeah, when you sit in a space or enter into your space and it not making you can't relax in that space, because when you look around, you don't like what is around you, or you keep stepping over things that in the way, etc. Let me tell you, it hampers you from even thinking clear and from getting that breakthrough.
When you can't find anything and everything is inconvenient, and you
Yeah,
do 10 things to get one thing, it means that you won't do what you want to do because
yeah.
things are not at hand.
So you may think, even, and I'm just using Terry Ann's goal here. So even if your goal, and in Terry Ann's case, her goal was making sure she set up a garden so she could provide the vegetables, etc.
Mm-hmm.
But if she's doing that garden, and when she gets inside the house is totally confused and everything, she won't be excited. She's not excited. It puts you in a different mood. It puts you in a different mood. So I totally believe
Yeah.
for us to achieve our goals, especially in the outer environment. And when I say the outer environment, I'm talking about the noise happening around us, the negative news, etc. When you already have that to deal with, that you have to block out, try to create that space that you're in control of. Make that space a very pleasant space. And
That,
I'm not talking about big spaces. So
no,
please, I'm not talking about having a big house, and this is nothing to do with it. This is your personal space.
Jennifer, I can give a story, a small story that
Mm,
explains that so well. And again, it's linked to the whole issue of wellness. Over the past couple of years, I've really been working hard at watching what I eat, trying to get a more balanced diet. And that has required that I prepare more of my meals, that I do
yeah.
my own cooking. And something as simple as where my kitchen tools were
Yes.
wasn't, is I had all my kitchen tools in a drawer in the kitchen. And pots were properly put away in cupboards and so on. So when I was in the middle, it was very inconvenient to cook. I couldn't get the pots and I couldn't get the tools.
Mm,
And a simple shelving unit that I got in Price Mart behind the stove. And one of those grid racks that you could put hooks on, and all my kitchen tools were hung up there, right available for
oh
me.
yes.
It made such a difference in terms of, now, for one person, they may say, but everything was neat and put away in the kitchen, so it wasn't cluttered. But now things are accessible, but it's still neat.
Yes.
And it made it very much easier for me to achieve my goal of prepare more of my own foods just by
Yeah.
reorganizing the things that I need to do something. So it can be as
Yeah.
simple as that.
As simple as
Put
that.
kitchen
So we are
tools in
talking
the kitchen.
about your head
I talk
space.
about pot, spoon, and things, and
Yeah.
knives and things like that.
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
yeah. So that it's
Yeah.
so important. That whole is
So
what.
we look at what you're tying your environment, I should say, tying your environment to your goals. Because if you leave a cluttered house, if you leave a space that you're not happy with, you're going into wherever you're going to, you're going with that sort of negative energy with you.
Yeah.
So I am all about creating that positive energy with you. And that is a goal. That has been my goal. I am not allowing things to get to me in such a way that I am getting all flustered. All
Yeah.
right. So that is one of the decision making.
Mhm.
That is a complaint that people have felt because they don't want to hurt somebody's feelings, or they want to remain the nice person. So as a parent, you want to be a nice mother. A nice mother mean you're not going to rock the boat if someone asks if you're and I'm talking about adult children, I'm talking about grands. um so you sacrifice yourself, you give up things that you would want to do in order to please them.
Yeah.
And that's the other area, and we're talking about dilemmas, whether you should please them or please yourself. I'm thinking about you first. Look at that. I have very close friends. I also at times have to make that decision. It may be a tough decision. Normally at the end, I'm happy that I stood my ground. You see, you stand your ground. Look at that. Because even in your goals, you may want to do X, but you may feel if you do that, it would not meet the approval of your siblings, your those at home, etc.
Mhm.
And it could be as simple as, and let me go very basic, and men is not that big. I'm just saying this because I know you also could make that decision within a house. It could be just changing around what you have there, getting rid of some things that you're not happy with, and it's annoying you every time you see it. It's some piece of furniture or something. And you may think if you get rid of it, somebody else may be holding on to it for sentimental values, etc. These things, let me tell you, make some decisions. I mean, I'm using that as very base, but they are very critical decisions that have to be made within the household. So if your goal is to eat healthy, then you have to make a decision to get your family members within the household to come on that journey with you, and everybody will be healthy. So
Jennifer,
you wouldn't.
I have a good example that happened today on that
Yeah,
same food journey that I'm continuing, on the same prepare meals, on the same
yeah.
organize my kitchen. Another decision that I made in light of that is that I am going to be very focused on the local content of my food. Very, very focused.
Yeah.
I am really looking to see, is this Trinidad grown and made? So my menu today was, well, it was saltfish. That's not in Trinidad. Can't have that. But with vegetables, normal old stew saltfish and provision.
Yeah.
With all my vegetables, some came from the garden, but
Eh,
the saltfish was the only thing that was missing. I live with 3 adult males, and 2 of those males looked at me as though, are you crazy? What is that? I looked back at them and I said, I am sure you have money in your wallet. Either buy what you want or starve. And I was so calm and happy with that decision. In another time, I may have said, oh my God, I have to make sure that everybody gets something to eat. And I may have compromised on my goal
yes.
to look at my fiber content, to look at my processed food content, to look at my eat local, to please somebody who, you're adults. You can do what you want. I am doing what I want
Hmm.
without harming. I prepared a wholesome meal. And, you know, after everybody watched the turnaround, my saltfish and provision nearly finished.
You understand?
I didn't thought. Sometimes you have to
Yeah.
be convicted to your goal.
You have to. And to help you do that, you really should share that particular goal. Let them know the journey you're on, because it's all positive.
Yeah,
Let them know the journey you're on, so that support will help. But if there is no support, then you have to be very strong that this is what you want to do.
exactly.
There is, with the mind to Terrian and for our followers, I have found in the transition process that letting go is really difficult for us at this stage. And I'm talking about letting go of so many things. For those who have been in the workplace and step out of the workplace, some still thinking of when they were in the workplace, when they were getting salary, they could have done X. And in those days I was able to do, now I cannot. And it's almost like self-pity that you cannot do it again, and you're only focusing on the times when you were able to do it.
Yeah.
It's like hearing some people say, oh gosh, at this stage I would have been traveling and I can't travel now. So what I will do, and no. So we need to face reality of the situation, release the things that is in the past. Even things that you all have been able to do before the pandemic. You cannot do it again. Okay, that's done. Let's move on. And in moving on, look at the new opportunities.
Yeah.
But to see the opportunities, we need to release them.
Yeah.
Because again, so declutter your mind. Because if you don't, you're not going to see the new opportunities. So I want to encourage everyone who listens to start with your mindset, to understand the situation you're in, to know for sure that when you release and create that nice space for yourself, that things will start to happen and you can move on.
Yeah.
So I just want those little tips, Tarian. But as the life coach, how can we help you? We are there for you. It's about the support. It's about having two coaches that you can sit with, chat, share what is happening in your life. Know that it will be very confidential. You're going to be talking to people who are at the stage and who understand and who have the experience. And the sessions, because with the life coaching sessions, and we should say this program, how it works is that you start with we keep talking to you all about the assessment. So the life transition assessment helps. And that assessment will really, when you complete those questions, that report is a detailed, personalized report. So you really, if you didn't know yourself before, you know yourself after. You really find out who you are. So with that now, we sit and to all the fears you had, not sure about what you're going to do, etc. In chatting with those sessions, we would really help you work those things out, work out how you feel, get that breakthrough, and guess what? You're going to be ready to step on to, and I'm looking at 2021, to really live the type of life that you want to live, pandemic or no pandemic, because we focus on the positives, on the opportunities, on making sure that you are happy. We are not focusing on what could happen, because anything can happen. We focusing on the positive things that will be happening to you.
Absolutely.
So Tarian, that is about it, to help our 50 plus cohort be happy on the third act stage by embracing the life transition coaching program.
Great. So Jennifer, mindset. If you're going to change your mind, it's mindset. And in our last 3 minutes, because we said it's half an hour, what can we look forward to next week? What are we talking about?
Okay, next week we're going into the financial aspect, because you and I know, Tarian, you see, when it comes into finances in the third act stage, that money you would have gotten if you had retired,
Yeah.
the money that you're not getting again, all the plans you have. It's always a concern with people. How do you manage and, manage your finances, still have your nest egg there, and live and enjoy life? So we're going to be chatting about that. And let me also add that if for those who please check our website, well, you're on the Facebook page, click on our services, right to the top, you will see services. You click on that, you would see all the different programs that we have to offer, especially the 4 that we just covered, we just spoke about, the individual sessions. You just look on your left of the screen, you will see appointments. You click appointments, there's a calendar, and we have really cleared 3 days of the week for you all to schedule 15 minutes free consultation with us to just share your thoughts, because we are aware that many of you hesitant to put anything down on, send any note on below here on the Facebook, but we are giving you the opportunity to set an appointment, chat with us for 15 minutes, and we take it from there. So any questions you may want to ask us that you don't want to put here, please, set the appointment with us. So we are doing a lot for 2021.
Yes,
to have you on board with us.
Great. So in our 10 seconds that's left for a half an hour.
Yeah.
This was great, Jennifer. And I really do look forward to helping all of you out there, making 2021 a great year, in spite of whatever it is. We still have control of our lives. And at 50 plus, in our 5.8G generation, on our third act stage, we'll fix it to suit. So till next week.
Yeah. So put you first.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay. Good. Bye.
50 Plus Tribe and followers from TNT and the Caribbean.
Thank you for joining us on this Connections 50 Plus Wednesday Alive show.
We hope you enjoyed the lively conversation and look forward to seeing you next week.
Don't forget to like and share our Facebook page and subscribe to our YouTube channel.
We really love getting your feedback.
Bye for now.